All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I have our dear shaman, magical medicine woman, Kerri Hummingbird, with us today. And we are ready for a really deep conversation talking about, some. I'm sorry, I have a bit of an echo here, so I have to take care of this. Let me see about this. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Do you hear an echo on your side?
I don't.
Okay. Okay, let me see. Here we go. Got it. Okay, found it. Yay! All right, let's start over because I have Kerri Hummingbird here and I don't want to take one moment away from her and everything that we have to share together. So welcome to HeartShift-TV and Real Life Solutions. I'm Marcy Newman, your host. And we're going to dive in today talking about some really important things, of course, being the importance of ritual in strengthening and deepening your resolve. So, Kerri, welcome and thank you for being here with us today.
No, I'm grateful to be here. Yes, it's part of my passion. Ritual has changed my life and connecting with myself and with Mother Earth.
Well, I know that ritual is such a huge part of shamanism. And I'm wondering if you could just share a little bit about your background and how you became a shaman. It's pretty unusual to have a woman, a young woman, really, so into that art. And I know that you have quite an extensive background in education. So please share that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as most people that are open to this path are selected by life for this path, spend a good part of life having other people think you're really strange and maybe even crazy. And that was definitely my journey.
Mhm.
And so I was trying to fit in with everybody else because I wanted to be like them and accepted, but I was the rainbow unicorn. I was really not fitting in very well. And even if I just was said nothing, it's still obvious I'm not the puzzle piece that doesn't really fit into the puzzle in some way. At least not the puzzle that was being created, right? And so, but I kept trying to fix me to be like everybody else for a long time. And I was going to psychotherapy sessions. I was like, what's wrong with me? How come I can't just be like everybody else and be happy with what they're happy with? Because I'm just not happy with it. And I just, and I have these realizations or information. I used to tell people stuff and then they would get upset with me, because I just know stuff about them. And I didn't know that's why they were getting upset. I had no idea. I was like, what did I say? I didn't know that that was news. So it was obvious to me. So there was like just a lot of that going on, and trying to like suppress my abilities and I'm an empath too. So I'm a big feeler. Really feel all the feelings and just huge channel open. If anybody could resonate with that, I know in your audience there
Of
are,
course, absolutely.
and as a feeler, the solution was take a pill and stop doing that. Stop feeling all that stuff. Stop crying at work. Stop getting, your feelings hurt. You're too sensitive. Get a thicker skin, all this stuff. And so that just kind of trying to change myself and judging myself led me down a dark tunnel, right? As it does for
Mm.
most people. Like when you don't accept yourself the way you are, you go down kind of a dark tunnel of despair because it's like, what's the point of living? And then when you get I got a diagnosis slapped on me, a couple diagnoses, and that was like, well, you're just going to be like this the rest of your life and there's no changing you. And so you're broken, take a pill, come to a session and pay us money every week. And I was like, this is a crappy outcome. Like, Like
Yeah.
I love movies. I love movies and stories and reading. Marcy, I've always loved stories. And like storylines, as storylines go, that was a crappy storyline. I was like,
Well, yeah, like you said, no end to this. Yeah.
I don't want that story. So I left. I got this, I just knew it because I was suicidal and this kind of thing. And my sons were really little and I'm a mom. I'm not going to leave my son. So I've got to find a way to not be suicidal. I have to find a way to want to live and make that decision. So I made the decision. I said, you know what? I'm a smart woman. I went to school at Smith College, which is an Ivy League school. I'm smart.
Hmm.
So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Exactly.
And so I went, wow, what have I been doing over and over and over again and expecting a different result? Staying in my marriage and with the same problems over decades and nothing's changing. And I'm the only one going to psychotherapy and going to psychotherapy, which isn't changing it. I'm taking the pills. I'm going to stop all those things, you know? So
Stop the merry-go-round. Let me off.
get me out of here. So, and
Uh-huh.
then I didn't like my high tech work either. So I was like, I can throw in the bag too. I want something else. And so I just walked out, not of my kids, but I walked out from my marriage. I left psychotherapy. I said, this isn't helping me. I'm out of here. This method doesn't work, for me. And I need more rapid change. Like I want this stuff to actually heal. I don't want to just hang out here in this sewer for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I left and I got synchronistically guided because I took the leap of faith, right? I had the wake up call. I was suicidal. I'm a mom. I don't want to die. Wake up call. I chose to live. I took the leap of faith. I made the great departure. I said, I'm out of here. And life said, great, here's your vision quest. We're so glad you're finally done with that stinky mess. Now, step one, here's this teacher. Oh, go over here and do some yoga. Oh, here's a shamanic teacher. And it just
Yeah.
started and I started lighting up because I didn't know any of that stuff. So suddenly life was fun again.
Right.
Life was interesting. I was curious. I was like a child. I was engaged. I was like, tell me more about this shamanism stuff. And I feel like I feasted on this shamanism buffet. Like I went to all the teachers, I was like, tell me more. And I got enlivened again. I wanted to live and I found a purpose.
That's absolutely amazing. And it sort of reminds me of an experience that I had because you're talking really about destiny in a lot of ways, right? When we find that thing that resonates with us and we feel it so deeply within us that we have to just know more and more and more and more. And here's what happened to me. And this was maybe about 25 years ago, 30 years ago, maybe. I was reading an article and it was about this contemporary shaman who planted an herb garden in Central Park.
Beautiful.
And I was reading this article when all of a sudden I started to weep from the depths of my soul in a way I can't even explain. Like I was sobbing, heaving, weeping so deeply. And I knew instantaneously that I had a life where I was also a shaman. I also had such a close connection to these herbs and these medicines. And what was interesting is that in this lifetime, I started out as a nurse. But yeah, so when we have these experiences that speak to us, like you said, you felt alive again. It does call us to leave one life and begin another. And it's kind of what I want to talk about today, because I believe that that's what ritual does for us. We are actually walking out of one energetic vibration, right? One dense energetic vibration. And we are stepping into another for the purpose of creating new life. So I would love for you to talk about your experiences with ritual, and let's talk about how our audience can start to really integrate this information in their lives, because there is so much crap going on now and so much fear and anxiety and stress. And I believe that as you were called as I was called in that recognition. We're all being called right now. So let's just start with talking about ritual from your perspective. What does it do for us?
Yeah. Well, I'd love to give everybody an experience of ritual
I would love it.
because I think that's the best way to learn is like, what is it? Is to experience it. And shamanism is all about experiencing things in your body and getting connected with your body out of your mind. And so the experience that I'd like to share with everybody is the first ritual that I started practicing on a daily basis, which was calling in sacred space. And when I call in sacred space, this is in the understanding of peoples who live close to the earth, otherwise called indigenous people, that feel connected with Mother Earth and live very close to Mother Earth. Like they don't want to live in a high rise. They want to live on the belly of the mother. They want to live really close to the earth. And what they understand is that the directions are not just on a map. It's not just the south direction on a map, the west on a map. No, these are conscious forces, energetics, archetypal energies, even consciousness beings, however you want to think about it, that hold a certain function for the earth and for us experiencing this paradigm of being on earth and being in a human body. And so when you call on these directions, you get oriented correctly.
How interesting. I've never heard it described like that before. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's like you can like call in a little sacred bubble around yourself by calling in the south, the west, the north, and the east, the earth below, the sun above. You form this bubble. So we're going to do it. And so that
Okay.
way everyone can get an experience of it.
Okay, great.
And so close your eyes if you're able to. Unless you're driving, please keep your eyes open. But tune into your body. So bring your attention out of your mind and into curiosity, like paying attention to what you sense and perceive. You want to tune into some nuances, like what do I feel? Do I feel any different? Do I hear anything? Do I smell anything? Do I see anything inside myself? As we call in the directions. And I'm going to bring my rattle out because it's just the way I do it. We welcome the winds of the south. Satchamama, wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us to shed our past the way you shed your skin, one whole layer at a time. Connect us with the earth, South. Help us to feel her beneath our feet and to feel her energy move up our feet and into our bodies and really wake us up. We welcome you, South, to open our hearts and access our souls. We thank you, South, for surrounding us in so much love, love and protection that we know it's safe to open ourselves vulnerably this way. We thank you, South, for your gifts and your wisdom and your beauty and your support. We welcome you, West. Otorango Jaguar, protect this medicine space. Show us the way beyond fear, the way beyond even the biggest fear, beyond death. And over that rainbow bridge to a new understanding of ourselves that is timeless, that is powerful, that is wise. We thank you, West, for that wisdom, that discernment to know what should stay in our lives and what should go, and the courage to let it go. We ask you, West, for also the courage to dream bigger and to expand bigger and to be more visible and more heard. And we thank you, Wes, for seeing how everything that's happened in our lives has been beautiful. And so feel that energy of the West coming in to relieve you of the burdens. We welcome the winds of the North, place of Siwar Kente Hummingbird. Teach us your faith and your determination to make impossible journeys every year, cross great distances with a tiny little body and hardly any knowing of where the food is, and yet you make it. And we can do the same, following those synchronistic nudges by life. We can be like you, Hummingbird, and take the epic journey into the mystery. Thank you, North, for also connecting us with our ancestors who did this for eons before us, who followed the mystery, who listened, who felt, who perceived, who knew, who listened to their ancestors before them. We thank you, North, for connecting us with all of our ancestors, and we can feel them entering the space and maybe even in our own bodies. Thank you for all this support. We can feel the ancestors at our back saying, yes, you've got this. We're here to help. And we welcome the higher frequencies. We welcome all those beautiful master teachers, letting that energy come in. And all of this is to help us remember who we are in truth. And so thank you, North, for helping us remember ourselves. We welcome you, East, Eagle Condor, flying so high with the Great Spirit. Help us to fly high as well. We welcome the new dawn, the new day, the new potential, and entering the space of not knowing, as that is the place where the mystery happens, where curiosity, where new things occur that create awe and wonder. And we want awe and wonder. We want to know how this all works out for the best. So thank you, East, for guiding us on our path of highest destiny. Just like the sun is rising every day, we know that you're with us every single day, bringing this beautiful, transcendent, big picture energy. Thank you, East. We welcome Mama Earth, Mother Gaia, Pachamama. Thank you for this beautiful, healthy, strong body and mind that can heal instantly. I know that I'm made of earth, and therefore you are in every single cell of my body, talking to me all the time, guiding me, teaching me. Thank you, Mother Earth, for being with me. Thank you for helping my soul understand life's most important lessons. And thank you for all the allies you've gifted us for this earth journey. We welcome the mountains and the rivers and the trees. We welcome the canyons and the deserts, the oceans, the farmlands, the meadows, the forests. We welcome all of life on the earth. We welcome all of our relations, the stone people, the plant people, the animals, the creepy crawlers, the life in the oceans, and all of the butterflies that help us to transform and ascend our consciousness. We welcome all this support today, as well as all the elements which are in our bodies as well, the earth, the water, the fire, the air. Thank you for all this help, Mother Earth. Thank you for the bounty you deliver to us every single day. We welcome you, Father Sky, Father Sun, Grandmother Moon. Thank you for all the gifts you each bring us in our lives. The consistent, the mutable, all teaches us. And we welcome the stars and all the star nations. And we welcome the rainbow, all of light, the sunlight, the moonlight, the starlight, the rainbow light. And we welcome the oneness, the one that is everything, that's known by so many names. God, source, creator, great spirit, Allah, divine mother, the consciousness, the presence, the essence, Yahweh, the universe, all the names that we give that one thing, and we are a part of it. And we come into that sacred space together. Just notice how you feel in your body now that we've moved from regular reality into ritual reality, trance, spirit space. Notice how your body feels. Take a breath in that. Anchor it in. And when you're ready, come back.
I don't know if I'll ever be ready.
I like it there. That's why I live there every
It's
day.
home. It's home. Oh my God, what a beautiful ritual. And I had such a variety of experiences each time that you shook the rattle, and the energy of your words were just so beautiful and elevating. I remember right from the very beginning, you started to shake the rattle and spoke to the energy of the South, and I could just feel all the weight of, on my shoulders just melting away, and just, became more and more expansive. And at one point, to the west, I felt myself surrounded by all the animals, and the jaguar is one of my totems. And so that was incredible. And just every step along the way, it is such a journey. It's a journey. Just that one ritual brings us full circle into our heart. And, we've been reminded to remember who we are, and that this is the truth of our essence. This is who we are. And when I think about, our ancient memories that we have of doing this, of being this, I'm so grateful that it has somehow managed to stay alive. And here we are doing it again. Thank you so much for that, Kerri. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and I want to really thank the indigenous people that
Yes.
are trained my teachers and whose ancestors held this medicine so strong through this whole colonization, religious colonization period, and through great peril, to their ancestral line, held this medicine, protected it, guarded it,
Yeah.
kept it sacred, kept it alive. And, that is what the world needs now. And so I want to really honor all indigenous traditions on the planet that kept this wisdom alive and just say from my heart, thank you so much. I know it wasn't easy and I appreciate you for doing it.
Yeah.
And I really deeply understand the feeling that some indigenous people have, and like all the torture that our ancestors have gone through, and now the very descendants of the very people that look like the people who tortured our ancestors need to learn this wisdom from us.
That's right.
That is so hard. I
Hmm.
want to acknowledge how hard that is. And that's why I say, many people who are white presenting say, I want to learn this. I feel called. I need to activate this within myself. Mother Earth is calling me. I need to do more than just go for a hike in the woods. And this is that something more than just going for the hike in the woods. It's having that ancient conversation with the animals, the plants, all of the forces of nature. And I say, don't stop yourself and learn from whoever's willing to teach you. So there are many indigenous people who are willing to teach this at this time. And especially like, for example, the Karo people in the Andes are very willing to teach people this medicine because somehow they were able to, through all of those trials and tribulations, arrive at Munai, arrive at heart open love, unconditional love. That challenge, that trial that they went through brought them to this place of such tremendous gratitude and love that they're willing to share all of their teachings with anyone who wants to learn. And that's why my ancestors of the Cherokee guided me down there to study with them. And, because it's helpful to have ancestors helping you beyond the veil, but it's really helpful to have somebody in the person with you, teaching you,
Right.
and guiding you. And so that's why I'm also sharing it from this body, from a female body, from a Western woman body, because I'm offering myself as a bridge to this medicine so that people can feel like I'm not appropriating from anyone. I'm with my people, and I'm not appropriating from anyone. And of course, I welcome anyone who feels displaced. And let's just be honest. Anybody in the United States, anybody in the northern continent of America, um, has been displaced. Everybody has
Absolutely.
been displaced from your homeland. So rather than continue this ridiculous westward expansion into another planet now,
Hmm.
no. we need to stop. We need to land on the planet, land on the land, make it home, and build a new common ancestry. And I do think that there's a medicine to the displacement, to the colonization, to the westward expansion, to I think there is a medicine to that. And what I see is the mixing and a mingling of all cultures around the world happening on the North American continent is actually beautiful. And now we need to ground it into a new family system, like a new human system, a new humanity together and on the land, integrating back with our land. So, and waking up all the ancestral traditions as in everybody's ancestral DNA, bringing that forward into modern times because we have beautiful technologies and we have wisdom for modern times that is relevant, but we need to bring back this ancestral wisdom through our bodies, and we need to listen to that too, and we need to connect with the land. So it's a yes and all of it.
It's wonderful. And I think you're so right on. I do believe that we're all being called. There's a reason why all of this information is coming forward at this time. I often talk about the fact I started as a spiritual teacher 50 years ago. I was back in the early 70s. I was ordained as a spiritualist minister. Same year I graduated from nursing school. And at the time, those who were in my little enclave were the only people we could really talk to each other about these really high level spiritual concepts. I remember sitting in meditation and seeing, like being shown the universe and mathematical equations. Who could I talk to that about?
Especially you need to go into the asylum.
Exactly, especially considering I needed remedial help to get through algebra to pass nursing. Here I am out in the cosmos, totally understanding these formulas. And now, but getting back to the point, now we can have this conversation right now in front of the whole world and have people listening and their hearts opening, yearning for this information. So it tells us how necessary it is. And so when you were talking about, the tribe in the Andes, for instance, who are so willing to share their information, their lineage, how you are sharing, how this information is no longer obscure. It's not being hidden. There's purpose in that.
Yeah, and the purpose is that we are at the verge of a new kind of relationship with the earth by necessity and by design.
That's
And,
right.
because the astrology shows us that everything is by design, and we can look out there in the world and see the necessity. So we
Right.
need to be able to see ourselves as highly intricately connected to all of life on the planet, which is the way our ancestors thought long ago, and the way that indigenous people, most of them, think today, is that all of life is our relation. So whatever I do, whatever's happening in another country, like last year with the summer in India and all these people were dying because of the heat, that is also affecting our mental wellness over here, our body
Yes.
wellness. We're feeling that. Even if you don't think that's what's going on, we're all connected in with this system. It's a closed system. It's Earth, it's a closed ecosystem. So everything that happens anywhere affects us. And so it's all kind of like, and it's important for us to realize that. And another way of looking at that is that if Earth is a body, then I'm a cell in the body of Mother Earth. And so if my cell is unhealthy, then a lot of other cells have got to come and try to like make my cell more healthy, right? This takes a lot of energy. And so that's what's kind of going on. So as a cell becomes healthy, it starts to help other cells become healthy. And then the whole body becomes more healthy because more cells are healthy, and then they're regenerating, and then everybody's like healthy because we're all regenerating, which is epigenetics.
Mm-hmm.
So we're able to heal. And right now on the planet we're making a big turn. So if you study, I love the gene keys. It's my favorite like system of understanding self. GeneKeys. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a technology that Richard Rudd downloaded through contemplation as he was studying human design, which was the predecessor, and is linked in with human design. But the map, when you get your gene keys map, I'm like, that's me. That's all my mental tunnels. Like, it's like judgment, opinion, uh, stress. These are all my shadow frequencies,
Mm-hmm.
expectation. These are mine. And I've had to work through them to get to like integrity and patience and stillness, restraint, like these are lessons I've been working my whole life without even knowing it. And I get my map and I'm like, that shows my whole life. So Richard Rudd talks about how um, just like my eye was by design, so is what's happening on the planet right now. And we're in his downloads, what he gets is that we're on the cusp of another big transition of the human species. So we've had them before on the planet. We had the transition from Neanderthal into Cro-Magnon, right? And they were coexisting on the planet at the same time for a long time, but they were radically different in the way they perceived and lived, right? So same is happening now. And we can claim this, what they're calling homo luminous, so one of the words for it. We can claim this rainbow body, the Buddhic body, right? So there's people throughout time that have shown us, Yeshua ben Yosef, there's different people who have shown us that this is possible. We can do it too now. Everybody can do this. But it takes moving out of the reptilian brain, which is the survival brain, into the limbic brain, the emotional brain, opening your heart, feeling everything,
Yep.
everything, like you have to feel it, getting acquainted with your body and its sensations, like embodying, and then opening up that frontal cortex and the corpus callosum, right? And getting access to the multidimensional self that you are, the timeless self, the self beyond lifetimes.
That's right.
Getting acquainted with that. And then that acquainting actually starts to rewire your DNA into a 3-strand. So this is what's underway right now, and we're in the middle of it. And so yes, you were talking about discoveries, all the discoveries we need to facilitate this movement. It's not like we're doing it, we just have to say yes to it. That's the only
That's right.
thing.
Yep.
The whole thing is happening anyway, but
Mm-hmm.
you're going to react very poorly to it if you're not doing any personal work, and you're not connecting with the earth, and you're not having self mastery or self awareness. You're going to really struggle through this part. Okay. So it's happening anyway. And you're just kind of swept up by the river of this transformation that's on the planet. And if you can have some mastery around it, you can navigate it better and have a good life. And you can actually really enjoy yourself through this transition. Right. And so what's happening on the planet right now is that I guess physicists, and this is from my friend Jennifer Huff, the physicists finally solved that equation that Einstein couldn't solve, which is like, what is life? Like what is it? What's the equation? And the equation is that the center of the universe lives in every single one of your 75 trillion cells.
That's right.
That's the equation. So that means you can't be separate from God, source, creator, universe, because it's in the center of every one of your 75 trillion cells. Hello.
Yeah. Hello is right.
Hi.
and and this is why it's being called the Great Awakening, because it's awakening to this knowledge. And what came to mind as I heard you speaking, is that so often we're programmed. It's not even our fault. We're programmed to look outside of ourselves for answers. Oh, the answer must be over there. Oh, it must be in that science or that science or that science, or oh, it didn't make the science cut, so we're just going to, dispose of that, flush that one down the toilet. And, we're starting to really realize through our awakening, and I believe the awakening is actually just remembering who we are. That's it.
It's simple.
Remembering who we are and awakening is simultaneous. It's an immediate thing, because when you remember who you are, all of that is now accessible to you.
And
Where,
it's work though too, because
oh, of course.
the work is overcoming their egoic resistance to losing
Mm-hmm.
control and a sense of power by being separate
Yep.
and having an identity that's separate, right? And because I remember along the way, I started having these conversations with my soul inside of me, and I was like, I don't like the idea of being a puppet. I don't want to be a puppet. I want to have agency. I don't like that idea. And then my soul was like, you have free will. You can say no.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, but I really want all the gifts that you have. And he says, well, you have to go along with me then. But I was like, oh, so, there's like this, it's interesting because I was talking with another friend about the law of attraction and how a lot of people like get into this law of attraction and then think that they can just manifest whatever they want.
Yeah.
And then it works for a little while, because it's designed that way. But there's always another step, and we're at the next step right now.
Yeah.
It's like, that's nice that you think that you're using this spiritual technology to advance yourself into a 7-figure salary or whatever it is that you want.
Exactly.
But that's not what it's for.
Right.
And it's like, we're here at this time on the planet to be extremely mature and to be realizing that we're here for the allness, for the
Yes.
allness. And I wouldn't even say oneness, for the allness, for all of us, for
I
all
love
of
that.
life. We're here for allness and making decisions based on allness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're here for. It's not about like, getting your next $7 billion in your jet.
Yeah.
It's about really looking and seeing what's happening on the totality of the allness that I am part of, and where can I make a change in my own experience that would make a really nice ripple in the world and make things better. Maybe I just take care of my one piece of Mother Earth that I have in my body. My body is a piece of Mother Earth. It's my personal piece of Mother Earth garden. And I get to manage this garden and till the soil and take care of it and nurture it and put good food in it and learn how self-care, nurturing, and good words, using my word. I get to learn all my soul lessons. And then when you kind of accomplish that, you can start looking outside, like, how could I be a benefit in my family? How can I take this overflow of love that I have now and give it to my neighbor and help out with my community? And how can I then take on bigger projects and clean up the oceans and collaborate with other people? Like, how can we clean up the oceans and spread, for me, I'm a messenger. So the whole thing is like to find your spot. And Richard Rudd talks about the synarchy as a word of that. It's like we're all diverse and unique. We're all designed to be exactly who we are. And
Exactly.
when we land in that spot, there's a perfect spot for us in the synarchy to do exactly what we love the most and be in greatest service to the group. So that is very different than this cog in the wheel thing. Like, that is so unfulfilling. We want to be our greatest self and have everybody go, yes, I love when you're your greatest self, because when you're your greatest self, it lights me up. And then I can be my greatest self. And
That's
we're
right.
heading into that reality, which I think is going to be really exciting.
I agree with you. And I think we are seeing it revealed more and more and more every single day. And people are certainly awakening, remembering to a certain degree who they are. And I do believe that, the moment that they start to taste the freedom that comes from remembering and embodying that memory, that will just take off together. But having said that, I would love for you to give us some examples of rituals that we can do on an everyday basis. And I know, I can't speak for everyone, but I know I'm going to be, tuning into this video over and over and over again, just so that I can experience that incredible ritual that you took us through. But what can people do on an everyday basis when they're feeling that overwhelm, that anxiety, um, uh, the stress, and of course that fear, the fear, yes, of death itself, because many of us are faced with it. And so what can we do? Give us some examples of rituals that will bring us back home.
Yeah. So you mentioned fear of death.
Mm-hmm.
So one ritual I love to do is to make death my ally. Because I realized along the way that yes, I could kill myself because I was in suicidal mode, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
anybody who's
Yeah.
feeling suicidal, I totally understand. And I was realizing at one of these bouts of suicidal ideation, I was feeling in my body, I had this realization that it was just a part of me that was ready to die, that was creating that feeling inside me. But it wasn't that I wanted to die. It was that there was a part of me ready to die, to be released. And when I realized that, I thought, oh my gosh, if I just am willing to die to myself over and over again, whatever is ready to be released, it would leave me feeling brand new all the time. So it takes a certain amount of courage to work with the spirit of death. And the way that I work with it is the way I was taught by Alberto Vialdo, who's one of my teachers, is to do a fire ceremony. And so in the fire ceremony, it doesn't have to be a big deal. It can literally be a tea light candle. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
not a big, massive fire unless you want to do one, which is cool too. But you could just do like this and a little toothpick, nothing major, some little burnable object, unless you want to write it out. If some people like to write out the thing that they're releasing because they just had to vocalize it. If you're one
Mm-hmm.
of those people, then yeah, make sure you have like a shell or something to put the burning paper so you don't burn yourself or light anything on fire. But yeah, write it out. Like write the whole thing out that you want to release. And I don't like this pattern, and I don't like when I say this to myself, and I want to change this family dynamic, and I wish the universe would stop sending me this kind of experience. Whatever the thing is that
Right.
you're feeling, right? Or I hate that I always respond this way. And write it and then blow how it feels. This is an important part that I found. Blow how your body feels when you're telling that story into the paper.
Mm.
Transfer it with your breath into the paper. Now, when you give it to the fire will consume it, not just in the paper, but also help you release it inside of you.
I love that.
So I like to use that. And if you're not really into storytelling, you can use the toothpick and just feel what you're feeling, think the thoughts, feel what you're feeling, blow it into the toothpick. And then of course you've already opened sacred space. Now give it to the flame. And then when it's burned and consumed, pull the flame back to your mind, right thinking,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
purified flame, right love
Mm.
to the heart, right action to the will center. These are the three centers of the carol, right? Thinking, right love, right action. They don't give you a big Bible. They just say three things. Just right
Mm-hmm.
thinking, right love, right action. That's a huge ritual that's really helped me because the flame, I learned from my teachers, Jose and Lena Stevens in the Power Path, the flame is actually the three building blocks of creation inside the flame itself. So there's truth, which is the little blue part
Mm-hmm.
of the flame, the electric blue part. The rose part is compassion, love.
Interesting.
And the golden part is energy. So all three building blocks. So when you're pulling back that purified flame, you're pulling back the basic fundamental template of creation into your three centers. And you're asking it, reinform me. Because we got stuck in the smoky mirror. The Toltec talk about the smoky mirror, how like when you, and this is my rendition of it, when you take a hot shower and the mirror gets all fogged up
Right.
and you can't really see foggy.
Mm-hmm.
This, so, you can take a little towel and clear it off a little by pulling this flame back. Right perception, right love, right action. And then let that energy settle in. Let yourself be reinformed and reinstructed. Trust that the fire did go in there. Trust that the fire did release. And this is a matter of like starting to dance with the sacred, not the mundane. We all live a mundane. We all have that mundane chop wood, carry water. But like integrating your life with the sacred is to know that that ritual moved energy and changed you in a subtle way that will deepen and grow over time. And so you can practice the fire ceremony all the time. You know, if you're really trying to beat a habit like an addiction, you might need to do a fire ceremony like 17 times a day or something to get rid of that addiction. You know what I'm saying? To transition that addiction into something like you're just like, I'm neutral about that thing now. I don't care.
I love that you just said that, because I know so often people get fixated on the proper time to do these rituals, or, the moon has to be in position, this has to be in position. And thank you for, like busting that myth. Because if you're, like you said, especially if you're working with an addiction, you can't wait for the moon patterning. You have to address it on a consistent basis in order to help you to step out of that energy and into the energy of new life. So thank you so much for saying that. Not to dismiss the power of the moon and the position and all of that, because it is so essential for us to remember that we're connected to that. But it's working with us all the time. It is there for us all the time in its wholeness, even though we can't see it.
Yeah,
So,
and the ritual, this fire ritual is like it's best served when you're triggered. You know, like when
great.
you're really feeling it
Yeah,
is when that's why you just keep a little tea light. You can do this at work. I mean, come on, you can do this anywhere. It's a little
fabulous.
tiny little candle with a little toothpick. You can do that anywhere. So just relieve yourself, you know?
Kerri, that is so powerful. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. And I can't even believe it, but we're running out of
I
time.
know it's so hard to believe.
Yeah, we have so much to talk about. But I would love to hear about your new book. I know you have something really fascinating to share with us there. So tell us about the new book. Of course, let everybody know where they can find it and how
Yeah.
they can find out more about you and the programs that you run.
Well, this is an advanced copy. So, woohoo!
Woo!
It's super pretty.
It's
This is the
beautiful.
advanced copy. They put an extra gloss on it. So, Inner Medicine, it is hefty, you know, it's a decent book
Mhm.
size book, not too, pretty big print. Anyway, this is the book, and you can get an advanced copy from me before it releases if you want a signed copy.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can,
of course.
yeah,
Everybody. Yes.
PayPal, Venmo, you know, 33 bucks, you get one, you
Hmm.
know, and you get entered in. I'm doing like a competition or whatever, a drawing. You get $333 of training. The winner gets that. So whoever buys the book, sign copy, and then post it with your picture on social, like, hi, I got my Carrie Hummingbird. You get entered, you know, and then I'm going to do a drawing and somebody's going to win that. So I think that's fun. I try to make things fun. I want it to be fun. But you can pre-order the book at my website right now and on Amazon. It goes live on the 22nd of April, which is Earth Day.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
you know, and you can pre-order it now and then come in. It's free. The ceremony is free on Earth Day. The virtual ceremony is free at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be live and global, and we are going to record it. So if you get on the list, you'll get the recording, you'll get the access details. And then if you're in Austin, Texas, you can come live. We're going to be 4:30 at Unity Church of the Hills. I'm going to be signing books. We're going to do a live despacho ceremony there, so everybody can contribute and be part of that sacredness. And yeah, so
Oh,
I'm
it's
really
so
excited.
exciting. Well, first off, you mentioned that you can get it on your website. What is your website? Share it with us, please.
Yeah, so the landing page of the book is kerrihummingbird.com, KERRI hummingbird.com / inner medicine, all one word, inner medicine. And
Okay,
of course, my
great.
website is the one without the inner medicine. Yeah.
Yeah, so kerrihummingbird.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be directed everywhere you need to go, because I know you have so much information for everyone.
I'm prolific.
I know you are. It's such a joy to speak with you and to watch you just in your incredible expansive self. And I feel so privileged to know you and to call you my friend and to have had you here, really sharing your deep, deep wisdom and your beautiful heart
Oh, the feeling is
with us
mutual.
all.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Marcy.
Thank you so much. And again, for anyone, all of Kerri's information, of course, will be on our page. But please share this with your friends. I mean, Kerri has just shared the most incredible information. The ritual that she took us through at the very beginning, I don't know about you, but I'm still feeling this sense of like just pure freedom and elation. And I'm as light as a feather, I swear. And yet I feel very grounded. And that grounding comes from really sharing the energy of the share, right? Of the things that we've discussed here today. And of course, a beautiful ritual with the fire and how easy it is for all of us. So thank you so much for being here. And any last words of wisdom you'd like to share with anyone?
Yeah, I just want to share, like I was taking a walk on my favorite trail that I've been walking for 18 years yesterday, and I saw all the pretty little wildflowers up. And I took this picture because to me, I thought, don't give up in the dark night
Mm,
because the spring is coming
that's
and
right.
all the flowers are blooming and we're blooming our consciousness. So everyone can do it this time. It's not just Buddha or Jesus, it's everybody. So don't give up. You're in the process. I love you all. We're doing this together. And I can't wait to see everybody in the process and hear your story afterwards
Aw.
or in the process, even. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So wonderful. Thank you again. And thank you for everyone who has tuned in and who will tune in. And again, please share it, leave your comments, let us know how this resonated with you and what you'd like to hear more of from Kerri. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day and many blessings to you. Bye-bye.